Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Come, Let Us Reason Together. I am your host, Yandea, and joining me, like always, is my brother and co-host, Duane.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, so today is one of those days, Duane, for me where it has been jam-packed, you know,
Mm,
with a lot of stuff.
mhm,
And a portion of my day was finishing up your painting. So
Ah,
yes.
really? Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
really. Yes, really. So when I see you, next time I see you, have your painting on hand, on hand.
Oh,
Yes. So really it felt really good to get back into I haven't painted in a while, right? Since like my last mountain scene. So it was nice to touch the paint again. To be honest with you, I'm like, I need to be doing this. I might just start just painting on my YouTube.
you absolutely should. You know, you
Yeah.
could record yourself, like set it up to record yourself, but like no one's looking at you while you're doing it and you're just in your zone. And then afterwards, you could, put it together and put it online.
I don't want
However,
to put anything together. I don't want to do
well,
anything.
yeah, just do
I'm
it
so over
straight.
it. I'm so over it. I'm so over
Yeah,
that business.
like a live stream or something.
Maybe, you know what? If people would like to see me paint live, let me know. I'll do it. But
Hmm.
you know, it really is yeah, it's so therapeutic. It's so amazing. I wish I was still doing it right now.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah, you're like,
imagine.
oh, okay, let's get going. But
You
okay,
can.
just having a little chit chat, waiting for some people to come in. So
Mhm.
I didn't receive any questions this week. So um, yeah, I didn't receive any questions this week about any of our podcast sessions, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a question.
Mhm.
I still have a question, not a question for me, Duane, a question for you.
Okay.
So, you went to Jamaica, you're all rested and everything. So
Hmm.
you came back with clarity and all of that good stuff. So I could fire like questions at you, right? I could put you on the spot.
Hmm.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
So, so what I wanted to do, let me see here first. See, we have some people watching. Hello, hello. If you're watching us right now, just want to send you love. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please place them in the chat and we will get to it. Even if you don't have a question or a comment, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you are. And just say hi. And just say hi. We don't bite, really. Well, let me
Not
speak for
really.
Duane probably.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh my gosh. Yes, but yeah, let us know how you're doing. Thanks,
Mhm.
to everyone who has subscribed, who likes the videos, the podcast, who's been tuning in not only to this Thursday 7:30-ish Come Let Us Reason Together podcast, but also to our Sunday love story. We have a new series going, Love Behind the Fall. And we are now on episode 4, I believe, and that is about the divine feminine rising. What is that all about? Right? So we're going to talk about that a Sunday coming. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more intense than you're probably thinking it will be. We have some hard truths, to
Mm,
uncover, and we're going to talk
mm,
about it,
mhm.
hopefully no feelings are hurt, but some may be hurt. But it's all
Part
about
of them.
reflecting and
Yeah,
asking like why does this bother me, why does this offend me, what is it about this
exactly.
topic, about this thing, this idea, this
Mhm.
perception, this anything that I have issue with. So it's
Yeah,
always good to reason, it's always good to uncover things that maybe are so acceptable
yeah.
by the masses, but why? And
Mhm.
where does this come from? And all of this. So we're gonna get into that topic of this divine feminine that's rising
Yeah.
and what exactly that means.
Yes.
What does that look like? What does it mean? Is it good? Is
Mm,
it bad? Yeah, so that's going to be pretty exciting this Sunday.
it's exciting.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, so tune in 7:30 on Sunday. So now without any further ado, Duane,
Mm-hmm.
I know you were maybe hoping I would forget I had a question, but I didn't.
Nope. Can't forget
Ah,
that.
so I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. You ready? Here's my
Yes,
question.
ready.
What is one truth you had to wrestle with alone that now feels like medicine someone else might need?
Ooh,
Ooh,
wow.
what is one
What is
truth that you had to wrestle with alone? Alone.
a moment to think about that?
You can also, if you want, we can also give another way to ask that question. It could be something like, what is one truth that you're currently wrestling with?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it will no longer be alone if you tell us. But what
Right.
is one truth that you're wrestling with that you think, you know, once you overcome it or once you understand it, it will be medicine not just for yourself but for others. Do you have something like that? Have you ever experienced something like that?
Taking a moment to ponder. Okay. If there's one truth that I've had to wrestle with alone, at least for a part of my life before, obviously, probably being able to share it with good trusted friends such as your friends
Right.
such as yourself.
Yeah.
Um, I've had to wrestle my whole life
Yeah.
with the reality of my physical person, you know?
Mm.
And when I say that, um, on a number of levels, one, looking like really, really young for my age. Two, like constantly being um misgendered or, not understood in that way. Three, feeling like I would never be able to do the things that other people could do,
Mhm.
you know, physically, like even just like maturity level, I won't be able to go through some of the things that are like essential human evolution growth. This is what you go through, ABCDEFG. Like
Mhm.
that's not going to be me, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
um and also of course like feeling like I would never find someone, that I could share my with in that way because I just look so different than anyone my age, right?
Yeah.
Um and the truth behind all of those things was learning to accept who I am for who I am and embrace it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that I can do. Well, okay, there are certain things that I could do to alter my physical appearance or whatever, but there are certain things that are not in my control. And also, there are certain things that I need to
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
in this life. So I
Yeah.
don't wish them away. But you have to sit in that feeling of like, you know,
Mhm.
I'm not going down the regular trajectory of life as almost everyone else that I know, you know?
Yeah.
And even if you find ways to talk about it, at the end of the day, it's still like a very unique experience.
Yeah.
So it's not one that you could really share. with other people, you know? So I
Oh,
did have to wrestle with it alone.
yeah,
Um, well, we're never alone, but you get what I mean,
of
you
course,
know?
100%.
And had to come to terms with that from a very young age, you know? Yeah. And like went through all of the layers of like, you know, oh, pretending to be somebody else or, like
Mhm.
this whole like almost like chameleon thing where I'm like becoming a different person depending like who I'm around and like,
Oh man,
so I
yeah.
went through many layers of, you know, yeah, like not really accepting myself fully,
Yeah.
um, or like coming up with different like tactics or means by which to feel like I'm surviving,
Yeah.
whether it's like emotionally, socially, whatever the case may be. And then to finally coming to a place where it's like, yeah, I'm weird. And like
No,
the people who love me love my all of my weirdness and my
you're not
originality.
weird. You're not
Oh,
weird. You're just
okay.
Duane. You're just
There it
Duane.
is. Exactly.
Duane. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. You shared, when I asked this question, I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and this could be taken any way, but
Mm-hmm.
I am when I say you're just Duane, that really is what
Yeah.
it is for me. So when I
Yeah.
thought of that question, I didn't even think that your answer that you just gave could have been
Yeah.
a possible answer.
Oh, wow.
Like it was
Yeah.
not even, it was like nowhere on like, oh, he might go there, he might go there. Never did I think
Yes.
there. The most obvious thing, but it
Right.
was not at all in my mind that
Yeah.
was. And as soon as you started saying, when you said, oh, well, I guess I could share, I was like ready. Then you started, and I was like, oh, snap,
Yeah.
you know, that's, and I feel it for you because I, you know, even some of your poetry, you've spoken about that in some of
Mm-hmm.
your poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And you could really, even now when you're speaking, I could feel you, because
Yeah.
that was a hard thing to go through. Like identity
Yeah.
is big for all of us. We all have
Yes.
our struggles in a different way. But for
Mm-hmm.
those watching, and you could share as much as you want to, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that you look a whole lot younger than you
Mm-hmm.
do. You're actually 1 year older than I am.
Yes.
And usually, maybe now you're finally starting to look a little bit older.
Yep.
But
Yep.
when before, like when we used to go out, like I mean, years ago, when my children were really little, and we
Mm-hmm.
used to go out together, people used to think that you and them were you like I had four at the time. I only had the three, but they thought I had four children, and
Yes.
I would be like,
Yeah.
he is not my son. And imagine I was so much younger then, and they still thought that like you
Exactly.
were one of my kids.
Yes.
And so that just goes to show like how much younger you look. I mean, we've seen
Yes.
pictures even not too long ago. We found some pictures of you just, around that time, and you literally
Yep.
look like you're 10 years old,
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm 42, you're 43. But
Yeah.
most people would just never guess that that's your age.
Exactly.
Um, and so you mentioned, yeah, so that obviously would impact finding uh, uh, a spouse, a partner
Mm-hmm.
around that age because,
Yep.
well, she would be my age. And then if you're
Yes.
looking like the sun, you
Exactly.
know what I mean? So then
Problems.
yeah, that's been difficult, right? You might say she's
Hmm.
rocking the cradle, but,
Right.
right. But the thing about it is I feel like anybody who gets to really know you and take in your person, I feel like that's just they might say like, let's pass them genes on to my children. You know what I mean?
Right.
They might wanna snatch some of those genes. But at the same time, I understand that. And another thing you mentioned is just because looking younger, also not going through the development that
Mhm.
usually like that young males would go through,
Yeah.
getting all the puberty stuff that kind of
Yeah.
just skipped you. You just like, well,
Hmm.
puberty is
Hmm.
not. not coming around my way, right?
Right.
No
Got
facial
the
hair,
dregs of
none of the
puberty.
stuff that that boys go through. Do you ever have like your
Mhm.
voice cracking? You never touch that part. You
I
just
I
skipped
mean, I
over
did
it.
go through some puberty, but it wasn't very much. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You just got like a taste, and then
Hmm.
you know, because I remember like my children be like, "Look, Uncle Dwayne, like I'm getting facial." I remember Michael's like, "I got more facial hair than you now, Uncle Dwayne."
Yep.
You we just
Yep.
like laugh about it and stuff. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I could imagine though that having now you can laugh about it, but at the time,
Hmm. Hmm.
seeing all your other guy friends, you know what I mean? Something so
Yeah.
similar, like something so simple as getting facial
Yeah.
hair, or
Yeah.
just getting more of the male physique as they're going,
Hmm.
and then you're kind
Hmm.
of not getting to experience that along with looking like you're just stuck at the age, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's getting older and you're just kind of stuck there. And
Hmm.
so on top of that, you have some um physical like you're rather say differently
Challenges.
able
Hmm.
physical challenges,
Hmm.
right? That make it, hard for you to like play sports or do certain things,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
you may want to do,
Yeah.
and strength wise and so on. So
Yeah.
that is hard, and when people see you sometimes because you're slim and because you look young and you don't have
Hmm.
facial hair and all of
Hmm.
these things,
Hmm.
they're
Yep.
just, especially when you had your locks, you had the longer hair.
Exactly.
It was like, oh,
Exactly.
where is she? Where is she? And
Yep.
it's like, I'm like, she, who are they
And
talking
even
about?
like my voice,
And your
like, yeah.
voice not being very
Yeah.
exact.
Hmm.
So then you had people thinking that you were a girl for a bit, right?
Yep.
And it's just like, wow, so I'm not the right age, not in the right body, not,
Yeah.
like what's happening here? So that must have been like really, really tough. But I've
Hmm.
seen, throughout the years, you have so much grace and so much um just understanding. That's what I've seen with you, like where
Hmm.
people, you know, when someone might say like, "Oh, that's a compliment, right? You look young." They don't
Hmm.
understand the the setback that it's been for
Yeah.
you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just brings to mind, like how mindful we have to be. What we may think is a blessing may not be a blessing,
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
a person, but at the same
But
time,
then maybe a blessing
maybe it
in a
is.
way that you never,
Exactly.
yeah, you never
Exactly.
realized. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
To the person who has a disease that's causing their bones to age quickly, that's causing
Right.
them to, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
They would want to trade with you, right? They'd
Right.
be, hey, let's do it to many people. Many people would want to
Right.
trade with disease or no disease, right?
Hmm.
But that being said, just seeing you handle people on a whole, um, I think you're a lot of people's favorite person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
At least one of their favorites. And
Hmm.
that's not easy, for so many people to be able to trust in you and to love your presence. And my children can't, is Uncle Dwayne coming this weekend? Is Uncle Dwayne coming this
Hmm.
weekend? And not only them, husband, everybody loves you
Yeah.
being here. And then I
Yeah.
think so many of our other friends obviously feel the same way.
Yeah.
Anyone who I introduce you to, they just, yeah, Dwayne's different and he's good, he's special. I feel so sometimes who knows if you were allowed to
Yes.
grow in a certain way that you would have wanted to, you would have probably
Yes.
been in trouble out there
This is
and
it.
you got all the you wouldn't have got that time to do that inner work of like,
Yeah.
who am I? What do I stand for? What are my morals? What are my values? How do I
Yes.
want to present myself in this world? What are my gifts? How am I going to offer my services, my aid, my
Yeah.
love, it just, I feel like because you were kind of closed off to doing everything like everybody else, it forced
Yes.
you to do a lot of inner work and
Yes.
to deal with some things that some people, it's easy for them to just shove that aside
Hmm.
because they blend in with everybody else.
Hmm. Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they blend in with everybody else. But
Exactly.
I think, yeah, I think you're wonderful, obviously. I think you're a
Yes, sis.
blessing to anyone who takes the time to get to know you And even if they don't take the time, if they listen to any of the things that you've offered into the world, it's all a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you just around the same thing, just to
Mm-hmm.
go a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about like learning to basically love yourself, to accept yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, what changed in you after that?
After I learned to accept
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
and love
What changed?
myself.
What was the biggest change that you noticed in yourself? Like once you're like, you know what, I'm not fighting this anymore. This is who I am. This is how I look. This
Yeah.
is it. This is what, and I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna try to be a chameleon to, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like how,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, how would you
There's
say,
definitely more confidence, and there's less fear of being rejected. And it's just like, yeah, like I said, more confidence, also like being able to recognize the things that I was doing that were harming me,
yeah,
just like even in the mental sphere, and
yeah,
being able to release, those
mm,
activities. And I'm
mm,
still in the process of it, of course, but yeah, being able to release that, feel confident in who I am, that
yeah,
I have a purpose, that I have, a strength within me,
mm,
and that I have a light that can be shared with the world, and that I can still bring meaning and create wonderful moments with people, like, and I just have to find where I fit. I have to find my niche. I have to find the places where I excel and just embrace that full-heartedly, and not focus on all of the things that I don't have. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um, so you kind of touched on it there, but I'll ask it just in case you have something more to share.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, if you could go back and sit with yourself
Mm-hmm.
before you came to, like before the struggle began, like
Mm-hmm.
go back to little Duane before you
Mm-hmm.
realize like, hey, I'm different,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that first moment that you realized that you were different. If you
Mm-hmm.
could go back and sit with yourself in that moment, what would you say?
I would tell myself that you're extraordinary and that you have a gift that you need to share with the world, and that you're going to go through some really rough times and you're going to question yourself, but there is a deep part of you that always remains true, that has always remained true, that is just waiting to unfold within you. And you just need to step into that, and everything else will be great. You will find your people, you will find, your work, and you will find like your passions, and you'll benefit, and you will be benefited by
Yeah.
also, like, and so just embrace it. Basically, just embrace yourself and
Mm-hmm.
love yourself through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do those words as you say them now in this present moment, what effect does it have on you hearing you say that in this present moment, applying it to yourself now?
It's like a breath of fresh air,
Yeah.
and it's like um just a warmth within me is what I feel
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Lots of warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. And my last question for you is, who do you think um needed to hear this right now?
Hmm.
Who do you think will benefit from this message right now?
The good thing about it is, though my experiences were unique, it's a very universal experience. I'm sure that so many people, probably everyone in their life at one point in time, has gone through a period of self-doubt, self-rejection, self-abandonment, whether you've had significant trauma or not, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And so my message is all about embracing that part of you that you've been trying to hide from people for so many years that you've just tried to tuck away and
Yeah.
not release that, not share that, realizing that that is actually like your gift. That flaw is actually like a gift that just hasn't been uncovered yet. That's perfect for you. And that when you uncover it is going to bring so much joy and light and goodness into the world. So
Yeah.
I know it feels scary because you think that that's the part that people are not gonna accept, or they're not gonna receive, or they're not gonna understand. But even if you think people don't understand you, you need to just understand yourself, and you are already understood by Most High, by your higher self, by all that is good and light in this world. And yeah, as soon as you walk that path, um, all the wonderful things are gonna uncover before you. Like your path will be so beautiful, and you'll appreciate the fact that you went through all of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love everything you said. The one thing I would tweak is
Hmm.
no flaw.
Exactly. But it wasn't a flaw to begin with.
The
You just thought
difference.
it was a flaw.
Yes, the
Yeah.
difference. We'll call it the difference.
The difference. Yeah.
Difference. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Difference in us. We all have a difference. And
Yeah.
sometimes we spend our life trying to fix that difference to fit in.
Yes.
But that
Yes.
difference is the very thing that makes us unique. It's the very thing
Yes.
that we need to press into
Yes.
and to expand and to
Ex-
understand and to accept and to stand on it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And let it be our platform. You
Mhm.
know, yeah, let it be the soil that we grow from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it came to me
Awesome.
to ask you that question,
Hmm.
and now I know why.
There you go.
Why? Now I know
I
why.
never knew that we were going to go there, but we did. And I'm
Neither did
so
I.
happy that we
Neither did
did.
I. Well, we
Yeah.
went there. We went there for you. We went there for me. We went there for
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
And if you are watching today and you enjoyed, what Duane shared, please send him some love, because he could have answered that question many ways. He could have given so many easy answers. He had so
Mhm.
many ways to go other than going as deep as he just did. And anyone who was listening with their heart and their mind could know that he was being very sincere in what he shared and very real, very vulnerable. And I love you and I thank you. I appreciate you so much, Duane, for just being you, being to the fullest. And so I would say anyone who's watching this, if what Duane has shared has been helpful to you in any way, please send him a little note. It's always nice to get encouraging comments and just let him know that you appreciated what he shared, that it touched you, it reached you, it helped you. Even just a thanks, even just a keep going, brother, thumbs up, smiley face, heart. Anything, please send him a nice message in the comments.
Appreciate
And if you have a question or you have
it.
something a topic that you'd like us to talk about for our next time together, Commerce Region together, please let us know in the comments below. If you'd like to be part of the podcast, you can always let us know below too, and we'll be in touch with you and let you know what steps to take to join us up on here. I think I did have someone reach out to me to joining us, so we might have someone next week or the week after that. So
Wonderful.
stay
Looking forward
tuned.
to that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Listen, I got to get back to painting. It's calling. It's calling. It's calling.
I
And
can't wait to see it. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
I love seeing your paintings.
maybe you could share it next time we get on here. We'll
Yes.
see.
Yes.
But I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Sunday. Join us for Love Story at 7:30. And yeah, love you. Bye bye. Thank you, Duane.
Goodbye. Thank you.